Hello and welcome to the STCfit Learning Podcast. I'll be your host today. My name's Ben Scott. I'll be joined by Jason Galea. Thanks for joining us on our way to create 1 million positive outcomes for personal training clients by 2030. The podcast is brought to you by @STCfit Learning, a page created to upskill and educate PTs and gym nerds. Also brought to you by @STCfit, and that's a place for all your online and in-person personal training needs. If you enjoyed today's episodes, please give us a share and tag on the Instawebs. You can tag @STCfit, @STCfit Learning, @BenScottSC, and @JasonGalea PC. Hope you enjoy the show. We are live.
What's up?
Hello, Jason.
How you doing?
How you going?
I'm tired as fuck. I'm fucking struggling. Like,
We've just pumped him a full of another coffee.
I've had
and it's done nothing. 2
single shots by it's 11, so I've been up. I've been up early, and this has done nothing. But yeah,
I'm
surviving.
justifying my second because I had my first one an hour earlier than normal. So I'm having this one 2 hours.
I'll easily
earlier
have
than normal.
another one, maybe even. Oh, I've got a Monster in the fridge actually. So, yeah,
That's a big commitment.
nah, it's not. Not for me. It's like you can just devour caffeine and be sweet.
Yeah.
Especially how I'm feeling now. It's horrible.
Yeah, that's undirected anxiety level. 2 coffees and a Monster would be
Well, that'd be
a C sound, I think.
What's your average coffee? 80 milligrams of a single shot. Yeah, 60 to 80, and then you've got 180 in a Monster. So that's still under like 4. Yeah, that's fine. Like some people take that pre-workout before the gym.
True. At 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then wonder why they can't sleep.
Yeah. Wonder why they feel like shit the next day.
I'm just so wired when I train at night.
I need caffeine to train. Maybe because you don't sleep. It's a vicious cycle to get into.
Yeah.
Do you use pre-workout?
Just coffee. Yeah.
I haven't used a pre-workout. I couldn't even remember the last pre-workout I've used, like the brand. I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, me either.
Like,
actually, only because it comes up in my memories on Facebook. It's a post of using the Optimum Nutrition one. The beta-alanine in it.
Didn't it have BCAAs in it as well? Pretty sure. That was
maybe.
It had caffeine, BCAAs.
Yeah.
Yeah, back when you couldn't leave the house without your BCAAs.
Back when making your face itchy made you feel like it was doing good stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the beta-alanine has maybe some minor validity to it, but it's remember that time when you had you didn't pack your BCAAs into your gym bag and you're like, fuck man, this workout is over. It's done. There's not fucking 9 grams of leucine in there as well. 9 grams.
It was BPAC and what was his name? Jacob
Wilson.
Dr. Jacob Wilson. Yeah.
Yep.
So I haven't heard from him for ages. The only time I heard from him for a little bit there was when Damon Hayhow was ragging on him. Yeah. But I haven't actually seen.
I think he's got his own community now.
Yeah.
I think once you have he's got 50,000 followers or something. I think he's probably just doing his own thing.
Yeah.
Not ruffling feathers outside of his community. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really follow. He puts some good stuff up about blood flow restriction training. Some stuff's good. I don't know. I just feel like if you're a researcher and you are going down a rabbit hole, you probably can get a bit excited about whatever you
got to push the boundaries, but hey,
yeah, of course. And you don't want to ask the question and then put all that effort in and then I don't know, sometimes find out that it's the shit.
It doesn't work.
Yeah. Especially if you pushed an agenda. I'm not saying that's the right thing to do at all. But you can see who's the carbohydrate dude? Is it Gary Torbs or whatever?
Yeah.
He just fucking refuses to just. It's 1 + 1 is 2, bro.
Yeah.
And he's just like, nah.
Can't be.
Nah. It's 3. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's different, I think. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like it must be tough to have an agenda or think that something is the way it is and maybe have some form of information that helps support that. And then someone just comes along and just went, nah, bro.
Nah, soz.
Yeah. Fuck you. Don't take 9 grams of H&B post-workout.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything.
I think that's a perk of and I don't want to say just, but the perk of being a coach, not a, we don't put ourselves as that person. We were right into it, I guess, maybe 6 to 7 years ago where we were trying to find those minute details and even talking to clients about them and stuff. And now it's that you guys do that. We'll just interpret what works and do the what works part.
They need to be there for us to do our thing.
Yeah, definitely. But it allows us to be like, yeah, we're wrong about that really easily.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
there's no investment in it. It's just
No.
like, we listened to a smart guy and it kind of made sense and we tried it. It doesn't work. We didn't see any difference with it. And then more evidence came out and said it doesn't work, so we don't do it anymore. Like, it's a much easier position to be in to say I was wrong than...
Yeah. I wonder how valid it is, though, if you follow something that's maybe not fully backed by evidence. Like, not backed by evidence, backed by science,
research.
But it works.
Yeah.
But it works because people just do it. Like, what was the pinch thing that everyone did?
Yeah, biosig.
Yeah, so it's like, sure.
But they're still doing.
Understand that probably the pinch sites, the scores suggested that you had a hormone status of X. So that was probably bullshit.
Yeah.
Not probably, but
Yeah.
yeah. But then the result came from people just doing shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, is it wrong to do, let's just say we do biosig,
Yeah.
but we don't interpret
The results.
that way. And
Yeah.
we just go, okay, cool, let's just take all your sites, here's a bunch of fucking supplements I guess it's the supplements that really kind of were dubious.
That made it dodgy, yeah.
But they still followed a training program, they still followed a controlled diet, they still followed a high protein diet, they're still progressively overloaded. So it's like, how bad is that system when it gets those results and it's not hurting anybody?
Yeah.
But it's not backed by scientific principles.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I guess you have the opposite of that, which is like the episode we did with Damien was just eat the same fucking thing every day at the same time and do the same workout and adjust from there.
Yeah, which I think is the best thing ever.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it's aside from adherence.
Yeah, well, I just wonder if like 20 years ago, would he have said it like that? You know, like when coaches come up to us, like we just simplify shit. And I think sometimes like it's a strength and it's a weakness because I think you got to read the room.
Yeah.
But so I've just in the past just gone, no, it's just this. You just got to do this. And they're just like wanting something more.
Yeah.
But I feel like that comes with maturity.
Yeah, and we were those young guys.
Yeah.
And
100%.
there was more experienced guys doing that when we were around too.
Yeah, so just one of his answer would have changed
over that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whether he chased other stuff leading up to that before.
Yeah, and then just found like essentially it's like a DUP progressively overloaded and then just take the variables out and just do the same shit. It's like
I don't even know if there's the U, it's just DP.
Yeah.
Just lift more weight every fucking time you train.
Yeah, well, it's like in different rep ranges, right?
Yeah, I don't know how they.
Pretty sure
they
that's
do that. Yeah.
Well, from what I've seen, anyway.
Yeah,
it's all good. We're not gonna.
I haven't. Yeah, I'm
go into
the
it.
Training method. Yeah,
but it's like that's the simplicity of that is probably its strong point.
Yeah.
But then people search for like those real individual nuances, and they can work too. But sometimes you can go too far.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just wonder, like, is there a time and a place for both of those things?
Yeah.
You know, even like because there's a time that you would have wanted more detail.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, you know, and I think that's what we got to learn moving forward is like how to deliver that at the right time.
Yeah.
You know, because we can just say like, hey, you just go simplify things and follow it and blah, blah, blah. But it's like sometimes, you know,
yeah.
Like I know in the past I've wanted more too.
Yeah. It's like the tempo thing that's still, I think the tempo one is taking longer to die than most.
I don't think people understand it. That's what I think it is.
Because there is inherent benefits to it in the right context. It's just way overused.
It's also how people explain things. You know, like a big learning experience for me was like just terminology. So when I was putting together the programming unit for the hypertrophy, like the next layer of the body composition programming, we'll call it, not hypertrophy.
Yeah.
I was using rest pauses as cluster sets.
Yeah.
But in research, they just say, what the fuck, they're the same.
Yeah.
But they're not.
Yeah.
So I think it's terminology.
Language is
important. And then people are explaining things in a way, and then people just getting confused.
Yeah.
You know, and then they don't understand what it is, and they can't apply it a certain way or whatever, and then all of a sudden we just have this thing where, you know, people are confused and don't fully actually understand what the fuck's going on. Yeah,
it's interesting. We've spoken about the speed thing. Yeah. Like I read something the other day about like are you progressive? They were measuring progressive overload, and they mentioned at the same tempo, and I was like, if the weight gets heavier, you're not going to move it as fast. Like,
no.
Relative to your strength, even you're still going to move slower.
Yeah.
Like your top set is going to move slower when you're stronger than your top set when you were weaker. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if I squatted 100 and that was still, like, that's my 1 RM. If I then squatted 150, that 150 typically
it's not going to be at the same speed at 100
than 100.
as 100
So you can't,
in most cases. Yeah.
You can't apply tempo to progressive overload in that sense. I think it kind of falls out there.
Yeah. I just think as well, like, just looking at it from a practicality perspective, like, no one's going to have a metronome or something and train with that beat in their mind.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know.
Yeah. Count to 3 under a 3. Good luck.
Yeah, it's like, at what point do you just, like, control the fucking weight and lift it?
Yeah, but that's it. It's like, what they're trying to say is under control. But they've used the term tempo, and that's why language is so important, because it's like, the tempo's not the same, but you have control of the load. That's what the goal is, right?
In most cases, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, like, I guess for people who are like, well, why do you hate tempo? Because some people still use it. Like, for me, it's like, if you can do the movement effectively and you can recover from your training as it stands, then you don't need tempo.
Yeah, in most cases you won't need it, or you use it. It's just that you don't officially put it in your program unless it's specified for a specific way. Like, I think once you get beyond that, like, kind of novice period where, like, you're executing the reps at a tempo that is satisfactory, which is to control the weight and make sure it's not unsafe. Yeah. And then you just use that dynamic method. And remember, like, the best thing I've learned about training is there's fucking millions of different ways to do shit. Yeah. So no one's right, no one's wrong. There's heaps of different ways to train. So we train our clients to control their movements and move to a tempo to learn. Yeah. And then after that, we take a dynamic method of tempo in most cases. Yeah. And then we progressively overload. Yeah. You know, in most cases, that's what we do. Yeah. And I think even there, like, language is important, because when I hear tempo, I think, like, slow eccentric movement. Yeah. And that's what most people use it for. Yeah. Not just to specify how long a rep takes. Because it's the cadence of the rep. Yeah, as solid definition. And then some people use 3 stages, some people use 4. Yeah. And it's like, this is where the confusion starts to lie. Yeah. And then we get caught in the time under tension thing, and it's like, works to a certain point. Yeah. I think there's so many more layers to it once you think about it, and then it's like, doesn't really matter. If you control the reps sufficiently, just lift more weight. In most cases, not always. I rarely use it, like, any kind of slowing down of the movement in my body composition clients. Because it's like, we probably lean more towards a progression-regression model than a tempo model. Yeah. Unless they don't have access to load, like while we're in the home programs and shit, we slowed them down. But if you have access to load and you can do the movement, you don't need it. And if you can't do the movement, I'd probably give you a regression that's going to transient skill into being able to do the movement I want you to do, rather than slowing that movement down. Yep. Yeah, I use it for my intermediate and advanced clients more, because it's like they're just in a position to be able to, utilize that training method more effectively, because you can essentially, like, use more mechanical tension because it's an intensification method to the muscle. Yeah. Because you're going to be stronger in that lengthening phase of the muscle. So you're going to be able to take some more load. So if you're in the right environment with the right training parameters. And the right exercise too, yeah. In the right exercise selections. This is, again, and these are the layers that we've built in this programming unit. So you can use it as an acute technique. And all the intensity techniques that we unpack in that module are acute. Yeah. And then it's like dynamic reps, taking into consideration progressive overload, your total volume load as well. And then you use these things, to program for time, preference, whatever else, intensification, you've hit a plateau, variation, those kind of things. Yeah. And it's like, cool, use it for a short time, take it out, go again kind of thing. Yeah. I think I'm still seeing a lot of people just train slow all the time though, which is... Yeah, because they're leaning into the feel. Yeah. Right? So you've got that stretch of that muscle. So you're going to have the sensation of that muscle stretching, and sometimes it's the muscle and sometimes it's not the muscle.
Yeah.
But it's because it's localized in that area. There's that idea that like, it's working kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like the whole piriformis thing when we're A/B ducting. It's like, it's my glutes. It's like, it's not.
Yeah.
It's piriformis.
Yeah.
But you feel it in your glutes because it's the superficial layer of it is the piriformis, or superficial to the glute is.
Yeah.
So it's that similar concept where, I guess going back to the simplification thing, it's like if you just control your reps in most cases so it's safe, and you focus on progressive overload, and you matched the parameters of the rep in reserve and total amount of working sets and stuff, it's like you're probably going to get a similar amount of progress. You might get maybe more progress in that dynamic group because there's less variables involved as well. So there's less opportunities to fuck it up.
Yeah.
Because if you and I trained to a tempo, like, I don't know about you, but like I struggle to count my reps, let alone a fucking tempo. So it's like, well, how close to that tempo are you actually training?
Yeah.
So take that out, and it's like, again, trying to make this method as foolproof as possible with as little holes as possible. It's like, lift it safely, add more weight.
Yeah. I think it's a useful tool for like technique too. Like,
fantastic.
Whether you're brand new and it's like learning, I don't want to use the term my muscle connection because it's not that you're actually trying to teach. You're just trying to, move slow, learn fast. It's like a good block of that slow, controlled, deliberate tempo is good. And then if you're a person who tends to push too far with your training, like dropping that in every now and then to force someone to like actually pull back and concentrate on what the hell they're doing. That's a worthwhile endeavor as well.
Yeah, is it? I'm trying to search. Is it is proprioception like? So proprioception is the sense of self movement and body position. So that's what it is. So that's essentially what you're trying to teach someone at the start. And using a tempo is a great way of reinforcing proprioception. But then, like after that, you've got to lean into the foundations of resistance training. Most people.
You look at the intensity zones that we use for our strength programming. The intensity zone that's good for intermuscular coordination, which is basically unconscious skill, which is proprioception, the same kind of thing. So like telling the body learning to work as a unit to execute something, that happens at a lower percentage.
Yeah.
So doing that under tempo may be effective. Yeah. Like, because you're using a lower percentage, but you're still able to get a rep in reserve that's adequate in like a reasonable period of time. So instead of having to do like 30 squats, you can do 10 at tempo. Yeah. Improve your intermuscular coordination. Yeah. And positioning and feel and all that kind of stuff. Which helps. It also helps build confidence and all that kind of stuff as well. So I think, there's a definite benefit to plugging it in. Yeah. I think it's not where it goes awry, it's not a training method.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, remember when we talked to Ben about it, BPAC? Yeah. And, because we were like, it was kind of like, we did to Jordan. We're like, hey, you were the tempo guy. Yeah. And then he explained it perfectly. He was just like, I built an avatar of people who wanted to learn bodybuilding, and the first thing they needed to learn was to place their muscles under tension. Yeah. So we used tempo, and most people responded because it was novel. Yeah. But he said, like, that's not how I train. Yeah. Like, because we used to watch every video that he used to do. Yeah. And like, he used to squat like fucking 8 plates or some shit or something fucking stupid, Yeah. And it's like, you're not doing that at a ridiculous tempo.
You're not doing a 4-second negative. Yeah.
But he's controlling the weight. So like he's still eccentrically loading his muscles and reaping the benefits of that and then shortening them as well. So I think that it's just it's a contextual thing, and I, like everything, there's like a spectrum. Coaching is a spectrum, programming is a spectrum, like training age is a spectrum, and the influence, how that influences your decisions, will play out in the program. Yeah. Because how you coach your client who's new to the gym, or even 12 months in just taking that leap to like proper structured programming. Yeah. Not just like downloading programs off the internet. Yeah. It's like how you coach that person is way different to that person who's like, maybe done a couple of meets. Yeah. For me, maybe done a show, or maybe just, done trained for a while and looks pretty good and pretty proficient in the gym.
Yeah.
So there's just two totally different lenses.
Yeah, and then I think your primary outcome too, like I said with the body composition thing, I'd rarely use it with body comp clients, but I use it a lot, particularly off season for strength clients. Like even pauses. So essentially a pause is a tempo manipulation because it's like that's the third number. Like when you're at the lengthened position, so like pause squats and slow negative RDLs and stuff like that, just to train positioning. Even like a pause deadlift is essentially tempo.
It's a tempo.
So it's like that's really, really useful, like we said, because I need you to do the movement. And this is what I said before, like, can you recover from the intensity of your programming?
Yeah.
I need you to do the movement, but I need all this volume to make you grow or improve body composition or improve whatever else I'm trying to get. So I can't have you fucked from doing this movement.
Yeah.
So if I reduce the load and make you do it slower, we're good.
Yeah.
The systemic fatigue is a little bit lower.
Yeah. And again, it's how you rationalize it. So once people gain that understanding, which comes from understanding basically, a little bit of exercise physiology, maybe semester 1, nervous system, muscles, intercoordination, intra and inter muscular coordination, stuff like that. And then just understanding, how muscles contract and, then applying programming to that.
Yeah.
I think that once you get a better concept of that, that's when you don't sit there and say 40-second optimal time under tension window. Like you move beyond that stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, time under tension is, sure, the time under tension, but there's other things at play here that are going to just continue to drive the stimulus that we're trying to apply specific to that client.
Yeah. So if we can, let's come back to the mind muscle connection thing, because I put a post up about that last week.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be cool to use us as a case study, use me for a case study for it. Like, so the post I put up was like, when I train chest, I can feel like fiber tearing load through my chest.
Yeah.
It's like mind muscle box fucking ticked.
Yep.
2 pec flies, like I want to cramp and it all feels shit. Like afterwards, like good shit. Train back, fairly feel a fucking thing. And I can't remember the last time I had a booty pump.
Yeah.
But my chest development compared to my back and my glutes, like 10x.
Yeah.
So it's like obviously we know that the mind muscle connection probably isn't as important as it's been made out.
Yep.
And I think where it gets, I guess, a bit saucy is when the same people that teach like biomechanics and positioning then start talking about mind muscle connection.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, if we position you here, then the muscles that are lengthened position and we go through this like range of motion, focus on this part of the strength curve, blah, 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 blah. But if you can't feel it, it doesn't work. It's like, well, the muscle did the thing that you said it needed to do, but I didn't necessarily feel it. Does that mean the muscle didn't do it? Like, what's the thing there?
Yeah, I think, I'm fucking really unpacking this programming unit on this podcast. So that's not what we're supposed to be doing. It's just like...
The next topic is Kim Kardashian, by the way.
It's just trying to conceptualize those things that come up and then giving reasoning behind why people think that way and where do they sit on the totem pole of importance. Because like we're not saying that feel is not a proxy to maybe refer back to at some point.
Yeah.
But what we're trying to say is like, how high up on the totem pole is it?
Yeah.
Now, I think you explained it perfectly. It's like, if you're in the right position, if the mechanics lean into the desired, movement that you want, like everything's kind of lined up, you've got this really good kind of, I guess like line of tension that we'll call it. So, those things are, tick box, tick box, tick box. I think after that, it's the rest of the stuff doesn't really matter. I think it, and again, I think that it's related to the spectrum of the training age. Because I think you're more aware the more trained you are. Like you and I review ourselves rep to rep. You wouldn't even know it.
Yeah.
But it's
definitely.
like as you're doing a rep, you're thinking about every single component of the movement and you're auto-regulating yourself each time you do one rep.
Yeah.
If you're trained for 6 to 12 months, 2 years even, it's like you don't have that capacity yet.
Yeah.
So I think that leaning into the more important things is way more, it will serve you better.
Yeah.
So it's, making sure your setup is important, because if you're set up properly, you'll load your muscle properly.
Yeah.
If you're set up properly, you will, move properly, and you will load your muscles appropriately. And I think after that, it's like, cool, trying to get that like perturbation of the muscle and stuff, and trying to, afterwards go, do I have a little bit of a pump, and am I feeling it kind of where I'm supposed to? It's like, okay, like, maybe use those things, or even use those things when things aren't going your way.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I can't bring up my triceps. Still needs to be mechanical.
Yeah.
Still needs to load the target muscle. There still needs to be an appropriate amount of effort. Okay, am I getting a pump in my triceps? Do I actually feel them? Like, I think that's probably the totem pole.
Yeah.
And if you don't have any problems with your development, you don't need to look any further.
Yeah.
But I don't think that the fact that you like can feel your chest, and like your chest doesn't grow at the proportion of other muscle groups in itself is evidence that stuff can still be flawed.
Yeah.
Like that thought process of like, I don't feel it, which is something that clients say all the time. Like, I don't feel it. I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay not to feel it. And it's different. It's different based off the stimulus you're creating. Because what is feel?
Yeah.
What is feel?
Yeah.
How do we, like, are you saying you don't feel anything?
Yeah.
It's numb. Are you saying you don't feel that, lactate, metabolic kind of stress-y kind of feeling, and that burning feeling in your muscles? Are you saying that? Because if I do a set of 6, I ain't feeling shit.
That's
it's like, I'm like, fuck, I just don't want to die.
Yeah.
And everything, like, I can't even describe it. It just feels fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like, that's my definition of it. And it's like, that's different to somebody else. So
yeah. It's interesting, like you say, I've never felt my glutes on a low bar squat, but when I started low bar squatting, my glutes fucking exploded.
Yeah.
Because it's like I was doing 3 and 5. Like,
yeah,
there's black noise, and don't die. Not, can I feel my butt? And I think that's the problem where this becomes a real issue, is the promotion of the mind muscle connection encourages booty bands on every exercise.
Oh, yeah.
Isolation exercises for everything. Never lifting a heavy load. Like, staying short of, like, appropriate, like, different circumstances. It makes you stop short of proximity of failure too, because it's like, I've stopped feeling it. Yeah,
you're just aborting the set because you think that it's not valuable anymore. Because you've lost the feel.
Yeah, but it's like, like you said, if you're in the right mechanical positioning, like, and that muscle gets longer and shorter and it's under load, then it's
you're ticking the boxes.
Yeah, I think it's more like for the tricep one, for example, it's like my elbows hurt.
Yeah,
not my triceps.
Yeah, so you've got to find it.
Maybe we should look at that.
Yeah,
or my back hurts, not my quads or my glutes. Like, okay, maybe we should look at that. Like, it's almost like if you feel it somewhere else, that's a problem.
Yeah, well, that's feedback that's going to alter the signal going back to where you're trying to target to maximally perform.
And it's also a sign that mechanically there's something wrong.
Yeah, of course. And that's not going to make you train optimally.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I think that people in a lot of cases probably are trying to build that proficiency in the opposite order. They're going for sensation. They're going for the pump.
Yeah.
Then they're going for load and positioning. Where I think I've never tried to reinforce my mind-muscle connection. I just have tried to do the movement the way I'm supposed to do it.
Yeah.
So it's like, these are my bones, these are my muscles, this is how they attach to my bones, this is the way the fibers run. I need to get in a position with load, whether it's a dumbbell, a machine, or a cable, kettlebell, whatever it is, and move according to those principles.
Yeah.
And then it's like, get stronger, control the weight. Okay, do I feel a pump? Am I feeling it where I'm supposed to be? Like, if I'm training, I don't know, if I'm training back and all I feel it is in my biceps, it's like, okay, well, let's look into that.
Yeah.
But I've got a feeling then it's probably positional.
Yeah.
And a little bit of cueing too, so there's still that concept of skill and in there. So I think that if we reversed it or took it down the totem pole that we just explained then, people would probably get better outcomes.
Yeah.
And people would be less distracted on the things that don't serve them as well as other things, because it still serves them.
Yeah.
Just doesn't serve them as well as what other stuff could. And that's what we're supposed to do. We're the beacon of light in the mist. And the mist is all of the fucking information that's blurring everybody's vision. It's just hard to communicate that sometimes when people are just really connected to feel.
I'll get Tam to put in our show notes, there's a is your training session successful?
Effective. Yeah. That's a really good one.
It's a good checklist. It's even like it goes from set to set, from rep to rep, set to set, workout to workout, week to week. And it's like, here's a checkbox of all the things that actually matter.
Yeah, it's
each time.
Incredible.
So, yeah, and I think that just refocuses you in on, like, this is what you're trying to do when you train.
Yep.
Yeah. So...
that went places.
Ready for a huge segue?
Yeah.
Have you seen the Kim K? It's almost a week old now, so it's probably old news, but we're going to talk about it anyway. Because I wrote it in our notes. And
I'm going to say no.
So, backstory is... I don't know what the interview was on. They were all getting interviewed about something. And she basically just came out and said, like, they asked her, like, what is the key to her success or some shit. She's just like, fucking work hard.
Yeah.
No one out here wants to fucking work anymore. So Twitter has
destroyed
exploded. It. Like, I don't need some, like, what's like, entitled, like, privilege, like, all the standard, like...
Yeah.
social justice kind of attack on her. I don't need some billionaire with a chef and with this to tell me to work hard. I can't do this, blah, blah, blah. It's just like this huge backlash. And then obviously the main one was like, says the person who got famous or who made it off the back of a sex tape.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm naturally, whenever the crowd or the herd pushes at something, I just, in my brain, just automatically, I'm like, I have to prove that wrong. Like, this is stupid. So I have to find out, like, did she work hard before that?
Yeah.
Because here's my thing, right? If an old video got released of you or I, would it be called a sex tape or would it be called amateur porn? Because there's a difference. If you're famous and people give a shit, it's a sex tape.
Yeah, of course.
If not, it just goes into the abyss as amateur porn somewhere.
Yeah.
So how did she get to a stage where it was a sex tape?
Yeah.
So that was what I was interested in. So, and then it goes down another road, but I'll give you, so I Googled it, of course. I'm like, okay, how did it become a sex tape? Obviously her dad was famous or whatever.
Yeah. Because he's the lawyer of O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
I'm looking at Tam like he knows. I have no fucking idea.
So he was O.J.'s lawyer and then obviously she remarried, I guess. We're looking at Tam
like Tam's younger than us. We should know this shit.
To what was then Bruce.
Yep.
Who was a gold medalist.
Yeah.
So that's like another.
Yep.
So they had money, right?
A little bit of fame.
So, but I had to look into it. She basically started out. She spent $700 on shoes and flipped them on eBay.
Yeah.
And made like a couple of grand. This is the story. How much of this is true, I don't know. But this is the article that I read. Flipped those, was like, this is pretty cool. And then just started basically doing that continuously.
Yep.
And built an online store. So then they opened, named it, whatever. The sisters opened one of those, I don't know where. I think in LA, somewhere.
Yep.
Then off the back of that, obviously when Paris Hilton was like top dog, she was doing styling for her and is it Nikki?
Yeah, it's her sister, yeah.
What was her friend's name? Nicole.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if they're sisters.
Yeah.
No, they're not. Richie.
There is a sister.
Nicole Richie.
Yeah.
So she married some loaded dude, apparently.
Yeah,
anyway.
Power to her.
Yeah, like, I'll talk like filthy rich, apparently. I only know this stuff from my wife, by the way.
Yeah, so she was styling for them when they were like at the top. So, and then she got herself on TV and doing all this shit just from
Didn't
being
they have a TV show?
So this is before this, right?
Okay.
On
the two chicks.
Yeah, so she was doing their styling for the show.
Okay.
And then she got on the show as part of that.
Right.
So with all that, they'd opened this store. They were doing pretty good. She was a stylist. They kind of had the Kardashian name bouncing around a bit. they'd already signed the reality TV deal pre-sex tape.
Okay.
So I'm like, well, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think you can get there on accident.
Yeah, I don't think doing a sex tape like that catapults you to that level either.
Like, she's a billionaire.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of sex tapes out there and they're not billionaires.
If that's how it works, I'm fucking in.
I'm in. Sign me up.
Do all kinds of shit.
Yeah. Time to get a tan. So yeah, I was hoping you'd heard more about it because I was curious as like, did she have advantages? Sure. But does she have, so the ultimate question is, does she have the credibility
to say that?
To say, show up and fucking work?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think to go even from a millionaire,
definitely,
to a billionaire, that doesn't happen by accident.
Yeah, I think people can't get past the fact that like it's like if you go to flip houses, like we can flip houses now and like, you know, buy a house, do it up, you know, we'll probably make, I don't know, $100,000 by the time everything comes out in the wash. And then you got those other people that buy those like $1-2 million developments, do them up and then sell them
for 10.
And then they come out with $5 million. But it's like, to get ahead, you have to have that. To get that degree of ahead, you have to have a little bit more to you know, kind of get that return. So, but the concept's still the same. You still got to show up. You still got to fucking, you know, have a plan. You still got to like. It's not like she didn't work hard. Yeah, you know, like she could have easily just kept the, like, let's just say figuratively that she was, you know, a millionaire at the time. Yeah, she could have just stayed there. Yeah, like how many people stay there? How many people stay as a millionaire and don't try any harder to make their money work for them? Like pro athletes are the same. Yeah, you know, in some instances, like they just get used to the lifestyle, and then it's not like, what is this, some ridiculous percentage that they're all broke within 4 years of retirement or something? Yeah, and it's because like they haven't just like had the right advisement or whatever. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is like money's not the thing that makes that makes legacy. Like it's the person. Yeah. You know, the person has to want to show up and, you know, do things and make this, let's just say, starting kitty of money, however big or small it is, into something that's, you know, even bigger. Like, did she have a little bit more of a head start than others? Yes, but it's like, if, I don't know, if like 50 Cent said it, everyone's like, yeah, fucking oath.
Well, like, that's what I said to my wife. Well, that's weird.
It gets easier.
Yeah. I was like, David Goggins.
Do you feel old now saying that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
David Goggins has been saying it for 5 years. It's like #1 book on the market. Everyone loves him. He's like, and he's like, fucking, you're a piece of shit. Work harder. And Kim K is like, no one wants to fucking work. It's like, you're the worst. Yeah. Like, it was such a weird. Is it a gender double standard, or is it just because? Like, because she even says in the interview that eventually she doesn't want to play Kim K anymore. Yeah. And I think that's what people forget. It's like, the reality show is real.
It's entertainment.
It's a script.
If it was real, it'd be fucking boring. You would have, like, come watch me in a day in the life. It's fucking boring. Yeah. Like, there's nothing to talk about. We don't argue. Yeah. And it's like, they're just putting it on. Yeah. And I think that maybe because, like, people see so much of them that they think they know them. Yeah, and they think they can pass so easy. And they think they can pass judgment that way as well. Yeah. Where it's like, if you actually got the real narrative, I think that some of those people would probably not call her out that way.
Yeah. Imagine the pressure though. Like, what, I don't even know how many followers she would have. Like, millions.
What do you keep looking at Tam?
Because he's got a phone in his hand.
Tam's just constantly shaking his head as we look at it.
Because Tam could look it up. I'm slowly trying to turn Tam into Jamie. Yeah. That's what we want.
Evolution.
And that screen's going to move over here eventually once we've got him. Yeah. What's she got? 293 million followers.
That's unreal.
So, yeah, like, she makes $1 million a post now.
Yeah, it's sick.
For her to feature your shit, it's $1 million. But, and then, like, the argument was, all these tweets were coming through, like, well, yeah, she makes, life would be pretty easy if you made $1 million on a tweet, and life would be pretty easy if you had a chef and a house cleaner. And
that's
it's like, no, she didn't have that.
They're talking about the outcome.
She didn't have that when she started on eBay, bro. Yeah. Like, she had to get there first.
People just don't respect her, man. Those people calling her out don't respect her as an entrepreneur, as a business person. But if you look at habits and the process. It's like she would have had to have acted no differently to someone else that they liked.
Yeah,
a personality figure that they like who's successful as well. It's that self-made person.
Oprah.
Yeah, well, they would. The attitude would be the same.
Yeah, what's the difference?
Yeah,
Oprah?
It's just whether they like them or not.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's interesting. Like, even just imagine your life. Like, I know obviously we've started to get to, like, we're going to Canberra and Sydney this weekend to present. It's like, that's pretty fucking cool. But there's also this, we were walking out of that restaurant, the first time Jason and I ever got recognized in the street. And it was like, imagine everywhere you go. I
thought someone wanted to fight me. No, I'm kidding.
Imagine everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Not only are you recognized and hassled and screamed at, but like the paparazzi and the judgment that is on you. And any time you move,
it's next level.
Like, to say that that's not hard work, like, I don't know, man. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's next level shit.
Yeah. I don't think many normal people could handle that level of scrutiny.
Yeah, and that's why half of them go fucking crazy.
Well, yeah.
Like, they just get to a level and it's just like normal life's not good enough anymore.
Yeah.
So I need to do weird
something.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Kanye.
Yeah. I reckon Jay-Z's probably been the best at it, hey? So I became a billionaire and just disappeared.
Yeah, I think he does a really good way of just keeping a low profile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, used his name for long enough to make the money, and then once he had the money, he just used the money to make more.
Yeah.
And he didn't have to do it.
Dr. Dre's done that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just doesn't live like a public life. It's funny how we just talk about rappers because they're the only celebrities we know.
That we know. Yeah.
It's like, if you weren't in 90s hip hop, we don't know who the fuck
What's
you
his
are.
name? The boxer, the brothers? The YouTube boys?
Oh, Jake Paul and who's the other one? Logan.
Yeah. I'd like to look more into them just out of
see, even people hate them.
Yeah,
and it's like...
Which I think's dumb.
Yeah, well, they
personally
hate them because they do stuff that's not they don't have a job. Like, they just do shit.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, I think that's fucking awesome. Like,
100%, man.
Leverage that. Like, if people like you, man, and you want to go and punch the shit out of people, and and the thing is, like, people watch it, so it's like, oh, this person's fighting nobodies, and you know they're stupid, and it's like, okay, well, this dude just got paid like fucking $10 million to fight fucking Tyron Woodley. Like, I'd get knocked the fuck out for $10 million to fight Tyron Woodley. Don't tag Tyron Woodley in this.
Tag me, I'll do it.
Yeah, it's just like there's no norm now on how you earn a living.
Yeah.
You know, like the dude that
it's the perception of easy though, isn't it? Like, because they have that online persona that they have this wild boy's life.
Yeah.
And they're just like rocking around in mansions.
Yeah, and they're just hanging out with Gary Vee buying NFTs and shit.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's
it's just easy. Yeah.
It's
like, you just got everything handed to you. It's like, it's not.
But people hate other people doing shit that's cool to earn a living.
Yeah.
Where I think it's fucking cool.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever you can do to capitalize on something that's new and win. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just that salt that you get when, you know, maybe things aren't going your way. Yeah. Maybe you're doing some shit that you don't like and you see other people just doing it. And it's like, it's easy to get into that position.
Yeah.
It's easy to fall into that trap. And it's just, now we've all got keyboards so we can just go, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, you're a dickhead. Yeah. And it's like, cool. At least he's laughing with all these mountain of NFTs and money and getting boxing Tyron Woodley and getting millions of dollars from that. Like,
yeah, I think James Smith's the best example of it in our space. Yeah, it's like you can hate on him, that's fine, but you can't hate it.
He's killing it.
Like, he's winning.
Yeah,
like,
he either way, he doesn't fucking care.
The Matrix and went, haha, motherfuckers, I win.
Yeah,
and we all went, yeah, but. Oh
yeah, you wouldn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
if you're winning, because when you're winning, you only focus on winning. You focus on everyone else.
I think the thing for James Smith, for me, is nothing he's done from what I've seen. I may be happy to be corrected, but I haven't seen him release anything that would be harmful to anybody.
Yeah.
So it's like the Biggest Losers trainers and all of that. It's like, here's my fucking 1,200 calorie diet. It's like, no, you don't deserve to be where you are because that's you're taking advantage of people. I've never seen him do that. Yep. Which I think is like, to get to the level he has with that level of integrity that the product actually helps people, I think's adds another like.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, I just stopped hating on people a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got to a point where I was just like, what the fuck's the point?
Yeah.
Like, you get, like, it's, I don't know, I think when you understand what your business is there to do, you know, once it was like we got real clear on like what it was, where we were going, I think you just get less distracted by other people. Yeah. Because you're more focused on your shit. Yeah. And then you realize that like not many people, like if anybody does what you do, like there's enough, there's enough people there's enough places at the table to eat.
Yeah, it's a scarcity thing.
Because everyone's eating something different, slightly. You know, it's like just slightly. You do the same thing, but you don't. Yeah. You know, even people that were just like, oh, these people do what we do. It's like they don't. They don't do what we do. Yeah. It's like they educate personal trainers, but they don't do exactly what we do. So it's like you can do that, and you can come and do this. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I think that you just lose that whole like you look to make sure you get an idea of like what success looks like if someone's doing something that everybody likes. Yeah. You don't sit there and like pull it apart. Yeah. And go, oh, this guy's shit. Yeah. You know, like when back in the day, like we would be like, how the fuck is that happening? Like I would never listen to that, but it's like, I don't know. You just,
it's a resentment thing though, because you think that what you're offering deserves more credit.
Yeah. Ours should be better. Yeah. We should be at the same level because you know, we're smarter or we're this or we're that. It's like, I stopped doing that a long time ago. Now I feel like you lose focus more too.
Yeah. And I think the more of the puzzle that you realize is part of it. Yeah. Like imagine like when we released our first website and we were like, oh, this is going to like sell 1,000 units a week or some shit. There's no way we would have been able to even handle it if it had.
It would have been nice, but would have been a sinking ship.
Yeah. Whereas if that critical mass happened tomorrow, we're in a much better position to actually deal with that. And these people would set themselves up to be in that position, which like fuck yeah, you can't hate on them. No, because they had all of the pieces of the puzzle. They weren't just like a good PT or a good stylist or whatever. Like they were able to.
Yeah, most people are like not far away from that. It's sometimes a little bit of luck, a little bit of opportunity. Yeah. But you got to have everything else underneath it to sustain it.
Not to say another rapper, but I think Nas is a really good example of that. Yeah. He's like inside hip hop community, he's like one of the best. Everyone would kind of put him top 5 probably, most people. But outside of that, most people don't even know who he is. Yeah. But he's a billionaire, pretty sure.
Yeah, he's doing very well.
So it's like, but he didn't have like the hit songs that the other guys had at the time. Yeah, yeah. So it was leveraging this to, is it Filler he's in, Foot Locker, a couple other bits and pieces I think he owns part of. Yeah, okay. So it's like, he's like first to do the royalties on the NFT thing. Yeah, yeah. It's like he's obviously leveraged that fame that he got to
take it further,
way ahead of what that even offered him at the time.
Yeah, you see heaps of people like they get popular and it's like they don't do anything with it. Like it's only part of it. Like you've got to be able to sustain it too. Or you see people like they go up and then come down. It's like I think being able to sustain it and leverage it and build is like that's the important
part. The coolest part.
Yeah, definitely. So no hating on people. Yeah, basically, even the people in your gym, don't hate on. Just do your shit.
It's a lesson all the way down.
Yeah, just focus on your own thing. Like, do your own thing. Like, and if you are too busy worrying about other people, it means that you're not focused enough on yourself, and you need to outline what it is that you actually need to do. Yeah. Because once you do that, like, I used to just go in the gym and leave. Didn't care about any of the politics, who did this, whiteboard, that, fuck, whatever. I was like, well, I've got my shit to do. I'm in and out. Yeah. You know, and I think that there's a tremendous amount of value in just doing that. Yeah. 100%. And there's maturity that comes with that too, because, you know, we weren't like that all the time.
I definitely wasn't.
Nah, me too. Yeah, definitely not.
But called into the regional PT manager's office a couple of times.
Yeah.
We're picking fights with our PT manager.
Naughty boy.
I mean, I was right, but still.
Yeah.
So, I have a big announcement. It's very important.
Okay.
Done with the barber.
Yep.
Done.
As in all barbers?
I don't think I'm going to go to another barbershop for a very long time.
Yeah, okay.
Fucking over it.
Wow.
I'm sick of going to a place, finding one person
and they leave, man.
And then 3 months later,
they're gone.
3 haircuts later, it's fucking some 16-year-old kid who's beating the shit out of me.
Willing to take
clippers.
your neck off.
I'm over it.
Yeah. It is hard. I've had a lot of barbers too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another one around the corner from where we used to go. Really? Or where we go.
I'm going to a hairdresser.
Yeah.
Who's been there for 10 years.
Yep.
who will still be there in 10 years.
I feel like
it's like, you're going to cut my fucking hair. I don't
Yeah.
even care if the haircut shit. If I can come here every fortnight and you're here and you can do it. Because if you fuck it up, I can come back next time and say,
fix it.
Don't do this, do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't go to a hairdresser.
Because of the beard?
Yeah. I'm not letting a hairdresser touch my fucking beard.
Mm.
Yeah. Unless because you have to.
They have to know how to do it.
Someone can correct me if I'm wrong here, but hairdressers don't touch your beard. And they don't have any.
Like, you could go to a hairdresser that does.
But wouldn't they be called a barber?
No, not
I feel
necessarily.
like barber, like, to me, I think, I could be wrong here. I think barber's like beard and hair on your head.
I think barber is just a. Right now.
Yeah, barber's like.
Barber was a thing. Barber right now is just cuts with vinyl bricks on the wall.
Yeah, and hip hop playing.
Yeah,
like and you can get a beer out of the fridge if you felt like it.
That's what a barber shop is. Like, before that, like, yes, I used to go to a barber in Point Cook before I left the first time. That was like, had tattoo magazines and hot rod magazines, and they had a real jukebox, and everyone in there was tatted as, and you remembered your name, and were all there for ages.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, we can charge $45 to shave someone's head. And it's like,
it's extra $10 if you need to if you want to fade it.
Yeah,
it's like the hair's getting cut shorter.
Yeah, but it takes an extra 10. Like, and that's it. It's what, $100 an hour.
Yeah.
Versus just cuts is 20. But it's the same.
Is it?
Isn't it not? Like, the experience is there. I get it. The experience is there. If you get a good one, the experience.
I used to get a buzz cut, and then one day she was like, "I'll fade it," and I was like, "Okay." And it was like it was like Steph did a better fade in lockdown.
Yeah.
And I was pissed off at that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like just two distinct lines of like, it's like someone put a bowl on my head, shaved it, and then took the bowl off and shaved the rest of it.
Yeah, like, look, doing a fade is doing a fade, but I mean, like, the environment in a barber shop now is the same as Just Cuts was back then.
I don't know. I only got my hair cut, paying for it.
Yeah.
When I grew a beard.
Right.
Which was what?
Before that, you just buzzed it.
Was it 25 when I had a beard? When did I get married? 4 years ago. 25, fuck. 30 when I got married. Yeah. So I've only been getting a haircut, paying to get a haircut for like.
Yeah. Well, we restarted the podcast, 3 years ago? And it was kind of small then.
Yeah. Yeah. When I got married, after I got married, I'll let it grow just forever. And then thought, this isn't coming off. So yeah, that's it. So I don't like cutting my own beard, and I don't like someone else cutting it and fucking it up. It really makes me mad.
So I think that there would be male hairdressers.
Maybe this one that listens to on the podcast.
Because like a high-end executive guy, right? It's not going to a barbershop. Yeah,
okay. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, like when I was younger, I used to go to a men's specific hairdresser.
Yeah.
It was like, you do... And that's the other thing, like, going to a hairdresser is like...
Get your head washed.
Get in the basin, you get a head massage.
You nearly fall asleep when they're doing it. Yeah, I miss that, actually.
Mad.
Yeah, okay.
And they'll still do coffee or beer. They'll probably do coffee or beer, but...
Maybe we can...
I'm going to try
I want to find... So we'll send it out. Let's send out some feelers now. There's anyone out here in Melbourne, will travel.
Yeah.
Who can
cut
it. Ben's hair, and he can be happy with it. And is willing to give me a fade and trim my beard... Which is a big task. As a big task. Because I get all stiff, man. If someone's like, if I've never had someone cut my beard, I'm like fucking, tense. I can't relax.
Yeah, right.
Especially because they tilt your head back and you can't see what they're doing. So it's like they could be fucking this up.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you guys are willing to take on the challenge, we will come.
Yeah.
We will come.
Let's do it. Yeah. Who is your men's hairdressers? And the only thing that I've noticed, none of the hairdressers that I've found, at least locally, have online booking either.
Yeah, the booking thing.
Call. It's annoying.
The booking thing's a big deal. Like, even for anything, like I used to sit and wait because it was like,
you had to
write your name on the board. That's what you had to do. It's like, now I'm like, nah. Like,
do you
even
know,
now,
do you know
I
who
would.
Else does
I would
that,
not.
Jason?
Yeah,
Just Cuts.
Okay, fuck. I would rather shave my own fucking head.
Yeah,
and just run an hour and a half. Run a 6 over my beard. Yeah, the whole thing, and just have it like this round fucking shit beard. Then wait an hour and a half for a haircut. Yeah, I've got way better use of my time than to sit around doing that.
Yeah, when Grindstone first opened at Water Gardens, it's like you had to be there. If they opened at 9, you had to be there at 8:55 and stand at the fucking door. Otherwise, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I can't stand that.
All right, so western suburbs preferably. I don't want to travel too far.
I'll travel.
But
I'll travel get a haircut. It'll be good. It'll be good content.
Well, yeah, for once.
Yeah, once. Yeah.
But I need a place. I need someone that knows my name, that knows my coffee order, that knows my hair, and says like
maybe let's just open up our own one.
All right, let's put it on the list.
STCfit group.
I'll put it in. I'll put it in Trello.
STC group.
Yeah,
it's just expanded again.
Yeah,
as it does on a weekly basis.
Yeah, or it'll just be another add-on to the gym, surely.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But like, getting a haircut after the gym,
sweaty.
Yeah,
so you need the basin. You'll be fine.
All right, this could be a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like it.
Have you ever had a treatment at a hairdresser? Your hair's never been long enough.
No. Fuck.
I wonder if they do a treatment for your beard.
Treatment. What the hell's that?
I don't know if that would feel nice. Does would that feel nice?
To get massaged or some shit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
when I think treatment, I just think like getting hurt.
No, a hair
I think
treatment.
of Ali treating my bicep tendon.
Yeah, a hair treatment is like something that typically has like a cooling or a something.
Oh, so they do shit to the skin and the hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they give you a head massage at the same time. That's the highlight, really.
I think it'd be a bit weird, someone fucking massaging my face.
Yeah.
Like, don't fucking touch me. It's weird. Yeah. I'm not a touchy person. Like, I don't like being... Like, I'll hug Steph.
Yeah.
No one else touches me.
Yeah, right.
I don't like it. You know, even people come up and they put your arm and they grab your shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, got a few friends that get a bit drunk and they do it. And I'm like, don't fucking touch me.
I'll just make a note.
Yeah, no, but it's like, it just feels weird.
Yeah.
I just don't... I'm one of those people. I just don't like it. You know, like one of my nephews, like when I see my nephews, I want to hug the fuck out of him because I haven't seen him in so long.
Yeah.
And I've worked out he doesn't like it. And I'm like, hey, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I understand you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, I won't touch you.
Yeah.
We're solely high fives and knuckles.
Yeah, I've got it. One of my nephews like that too.
It's like, I get it. It's like, you don't want to be just touched, you know?
He does if he allows you to hug him and he just puts his head at you.
Yeah.
So it's like you can hug around me.
Yeah. And he's just, it's like giving someone a handshake. It doesn't shake back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
the fucking most weirdest thing ever.
Yeah.
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 So just letting everybody know.
If you see Jason in public,
we'll
don't fucking touch him.
Yeah, it's like maybe for a g'day, like, you know, handshake.
Bro hugs, all right?
Into the nut, hand over the shoulder.
Yeah.
But it's just that touching constantly.
Yeah.
Or if I don't know you, don't touch me.
Yeah. No, I'm all about head massage.
I had a guy at, this is fucking going off topic.
That's supposed to be. It's
but a
just
guy,
the voice.
I went to the cricket. This was years ago. MCG.
You lost?
Nah. It's MCG.
On purpose.
Steph was there too. This was before we were dating.
Wowzers.
So we're like, Bay 13, that's the bay you used to sit in, like get a bit rowdy, have a few beers, whatever. And this fucking random dude next to me fucking pinched my tricep.
That's the weirdest thing.
Like, and I'm not talking like a little bit, like he fucking pinched it, bro.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, you know when you have that thing in your head where like you get pissed off and you could fight somebody?
Yeah.
That's where I went.
Yeah.
Because he pinched me. And I was like, just looked at it. I couldn't
But that's what he was trying to do, surely.
No, he was just like, I don't know what the fuck he was doing. And then like, Steph could see that I got angry, and then she just like started playing it off, and I was like, "Fuck, you did such a good job there," because that dude was gonna end up on the cricket pitch or something. Like, yeah, but it's just like, what the fuck? Don't touch me.
Another one escorted out of Bay 13.
But it's just shit like
and
that.
you would have got the goodbye chant. It would have been a whole thing.
Yeah, that's it. So anyway, it's just like that's what I'm talking about. Just like unsolicited touching.
Yeah, I think Bay 15 is the best place to sit at the MCG.
Oh, I couldn't even tell you.
Or above, over Bay 13. It's like Bay 13 is like, I'm going to end up covered in beer.
Yeah, you know that same day, I got nailed with this fucking massive tub of sunscreen from some jerk up the top there. It's like,
Yeah. It's not, you don't want to be there, man.
Bro.
It's like when you're 18, sure, but
that was one and done for the cricket.
Like, fuck
got pinched. Got nailed with sunscreen. I'm like, fuck this game and fuck this place.
Yeah. It's like it's just people that were probably like you at the time who didn't actually give a fuck about the cricket, who just went to get fucked up with a bunch of other people.
Definitely.
And it just goes, it's too many hours in the sun with alcohol.
Yeah.
It's not it.
Wasn't a good experience. So now fuck the cricket.
Yeah. We used to drive up for Boxing Day most years. It was like, we would leave Shep like 7 a.m.
Yeah.
It was like beer before there's a little airport on the way out. Beer before the airport. And then just
get on it.
The 2 beers when you get out of the ground because they're mid-strength. And you have 2 full strength. And you just, all of a sudden, it's the days.
They cost you half as much as well.
Yeah. The bus home is not an enjoyable experience most often.
Yeah, I can imagine.
All right, so hairdressers. So, actually, do you want to put your headset on, Tam? I have questions for you. So we had someone a couple of weeks ago, and because I'm aware, I think, of some rules, but I'm not aware of all the rules. With photography, right? The etiquette, I guess, of like using someone else's imagery. That's like a big thing in photography, yeah?
What do you mean by imagery?
So like your work,
yep.
If someone just started using that without credit to you.
Yeah.
Like that's like a faux pas, right?
If you took a picture of something and then someone was using it for their own
that's
work.
why like you have to pay for stock images and then the rest are paid for, right?
Oh,
the artist has to fucking
So someone
ownership is the thing.
Yeah.
So someone was using your images,
right?
Wasn't acknowledging you for it and was using it for their own business.
Oh yeah, if they claimed it was theirs, yeah, fuck yeah, you would bring it up.
Even if like they had, so say they were a photographer and they had your picture on their page.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
That's a fucking thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because it's like I know it's a real.
He's like, can I leave now?
Yeah. Let me take this fucking thing off. Yeah, like I know it's a real thing in the media space. It's like that's why you get stock images on Canva or whatever. It's like
they're licensed.
Yeah, and then someone else owns the other fucking one.
And the good ones have the watermark on them.
Yeah, which apparently it turns out we need to have moving forwards. Because we had someone use Jason's client, a photo that you took on a podium with a locked out deadlift. And it was a whole big thing to get them to take it down, which I thought was very interesting. But it's like imagine doing that in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Like posting someone on stage in their last comp when they coach with someone else.
Yeah, I would never do that.
It would fucking explode.
Yeah. I don't know. In that instance, I just don't understand why you can't just get a shot in the gym with them now.
Yeah.
It's like it shouldn't have to be a thing because then you would post that and then be nervous about everyone calling you out for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is what happened.
Yeah.
It was just like, I questioned it. The question was taken as an attack. So then it was like, we're 15 in school in the playground, I think was sort of I was like, we'll just take it down.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. If it's not your work,
and it's like,
you can't use it.
To me, that act would entail some other things usually that are going on.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
It's just not just the picture.
Yeah. And it's weird. Like to do that, like you said, you would know. You have to have in the back of your mind that like, this isn't, because the first reply that came back was like, it's fine to use it. And I was like, well,
no, it's not.
If that's your first reply, and all I said was, nice picture. Like, if that's your first reply, it's like, you know that it's not. Yeah. And that's the rest of this conversation is.
How is it fine?
Yeah, well, exactly. But it's like, if you were totally naive to the etiquette of not using someone else's photos and like, because to be like, it's not
but
like,
I wouldn't
like he
ask
just, we need to clarify that too, because it's not like he just posted one of our clients and pretended it to be theirs.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's their client now.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But the photos from when they were working with us, it was just like, yeah, it's not.
But I would never post a picture of my client who had physique or anything when they were working with someone else.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I would never do it.
Yeah.
It's like you don't have the right to do that. Like even if there's no written thing. Like,
yeah,
it's just like, and it's like, why would you do it? Just get one with
of
you.
Your own. Yeah.
Just get one, make one.
Especially
of your
how
own.
good phones are now.
Like, yeah. Like you don't even need a high def camera and stuff like that. Like just go in the gym and lock a deadlift out, take a picture.
It won't
and
be as
done.
good as Tam's, but it'll be all right.
Yeah,
it'll be postable.
I don't understand that.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of effort and a lot of stress for no reason. It's just like, just post one. Here's when they started with me.
Yeah.
And here's where they are now.
Yeah. So I think a message for younger trainers who maybe haven't been involved in anything like that before, it's like, particularly understand that shit's paid for. Like, Tam didn't just take that photo out of the goodness of his heart. Like, he was employed to take that photo. So as a business, we paid for it. Tam owns the rights to it. We own the rights to it. You can't just fucking take something from somewhere and be like, oh, sick. Yeah. Like, I'll post this.
I also have another beef. Just because you worked with someone working with someone else doesn't mean you have the right to shit on the results that someone got working with them.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Because remember that training age is a consideration, and the foundations that were laid training with whoever, doing whatever, are part of the reason why they get results continually. Like you don't see like someone who worked with Chad Nichols, who trained Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah.
And then they go and train with another coach, and that coach goes and shits on them training with Chad Nichols and the fact that they got the more muscular and more shredded. It's like everything that person has done up until that point is part of the reason they're getting the outcomes that they're getting.
Yeah.
And that's a message for everybody. Like I never shit on a client who's worked with shit on a coach who's worked with a client previously. Almost a red flag if a client is talking about their coach in that manner in a lot of cases. Like even just considering it as like an amber light. Like
we used to fall into that trap though. Hey, it was like
100%.
Other trainers do this and this and this, and then a client mentions it. You're like, yeah, awesome.
But I would never. I'm never ever going to be in a position where even if that client worked with someone else and got, to X% body fat or X% muscle mass or their bench press or whatever, and then we get beyond that and then say, oh well, we're getting better results or whatever. It's like that's not true. Yeah, it's like you're getting a result. Yeah, because that person is proficient, skillful, dedicated, whatever. Even at that time. Yeah, and it's like you don't know what their lifestyle's like. Yeah, so it's like don't be saying that shit. Yeah, ever. Or don't let me catch you. Yeah, because I'll call you out. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. I think it's just a childish thing to do that anyway. Like you said earlier, it's like when you are focused on your own shit. Yeah, you don't have time to compare yourself to other people. Like it's
it's just not the right fucking thing to do either.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like I've had clients come to me that have been on 1,000-calorie diets or like doing X amount of workouts, and like clients have said like I gave this feedback, it didn't change, it didn't work out, moved on sort of thing. But it's like that approach maybe worked for most of the clientele that they worked with. And it just didn't work for this individual. Sure, they should probably adjust their coaching style to the person, but and even like when they worked with them too, like clients that I had 5 years ago that now have different coaches, like probably like, oh, you're way better coach than what Ben was. Like, when then 100%.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm a better coach.
I
than what I
apologize
was
to
then.
my clients I've seen like 5-10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, oh, I just had to say it.
Yeah. Just needed to feel better.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to do.
But I've had clients move to other trainers for whatever reason, travel, moving, working in the city. Sometimes it's just done. Like sometimes it's just done. Like you're just, and then they move on to another client, another trainer. They're just like, oh, you've got, a really good foundation for, and then they get a result that's going to be fucking way better than, just because they're doing, it's just added skill and added commitment. It's like, I don't sit there and get upset. Yeah. Yeah. But it's like, I don't expect that trainer to call me out though and say they're getting better results. Like,
I think the comment was,
I kind of expect you to.
And that's it. The comment was something along the lines of like, oh, well, they're PBing now with us sort of thing. And it was like, well, they should be because they never didn't with us. So if they stopped getting results, that would probably be a problem if they were going backwards. It's a weird.
Yeah. That rubbed me up the wrong way more than anything.
Yeah. But I think that was just backed into a corner.
Yeah, of course.
Swinging for anything.
That conversation should never have got there.
Yeah. So you've got questions from our last chat, I believe.
I do. Just let me get through all my tabs.
Hold music, Tam.
All right. So there's a couple different ones. So someone's asking about program length. So just understanding what's the optimal time frame for a program. And trying to minimize that fake gains period. Yeah. So how are we doing for time here, Tam? Just so I understand.
Or an hour in already.
Okay, that's easy. Yeah. So in terms of programming length, I don't want to be that boring person to say it depends, but it does. But we're going to give you guys some take homes, of course. So I think that it depends on the training age of the client. Like you and I can step into a program, been training. We're now considered advanced trainees, Ben, because of the time frame we've been training for. So we could probably step into a program day one, week one, if we decided to hit the ground running, work to an appropriate stimulus for whatever outcome that we're doing, and that's going to yield X amount of fatigue, and that's going to surmount over a period of time and require some form of acute deloading, in the future. Right, or periodization, we'll call it, because that's what it is. Mitigating fatigue, maximizing the stimulus. Now, with intermediates and beginner clients, some intermediates and beginner clients, they're not going to be able to do that. So there's going to be a period where they're going to have to like just work their way into the gym, feel out the movements, get confident, and be in a position to push.
Yeah.
That can take 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So then if you've got a 4-week program, how high to the sun are they actually flying and for how long?
Yeah.
You know, with the sun being an appropriate stimulus, like maximal stimulus. So obviously we don't want anyone ever to get burnt, but we want them to fly pretty high. And we want to do it for a period of time that's going to challenge the system, you know, distort the system, make it respond, adapt, and then, you know, super compensate if you need to, or just keep them where they're at.
Yep.
So I think that that's going to differ from person to person. And for us with our training method, typically it'll be anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, strength outcomes, probably a little bit shorter. Physique outcomes, you can probably train them for a tiny bit longer. I think the longer you train, you kind of pick 4 or 5 movements per muscle group and for body composition, and you really just periodize that. And you keep some constants in your program because you're always pressing, you're always lower pushing, you're always hinging. And I think once you find movements you like as an advanced trainee, you don't really want to dip on them. Yeah. You're just changing the variables maybe.
I think even with strength, like I've worked with a few coaches now, and talking about it with coaches like 3 to 4 weeks seems to be like this industry kind of approach.
Yeah.
And they think when they do that it's like, and I think young coaches think, well, I have to change lots in that 4-week block. It's like, you don't. Like that intermediate to an advanced lifter in particular is probably getting close to needing a change, but that change only needs to be in intensity quite often.
Yeah.
Or typically with a strength thing, you've got a timeline that dictates an evolution in the periodization of the lift, not the programming itself. There's a periodization element too, whether it's safety bar squats into high bar, into low bar, into from 5s to 3s to singles. Like that has to happen over a very specific period of time. So you're giving limited exposure with a gradient intending to be able to do your 1RM comp squat at the end. The rest of the program, though, can look really fucking similar for 6, 8, even 10 weeks, even longer often, because it's like, this is the exercise that counteracts that. This is the exercise that helps with this. It's like, as much as it might be a 4-week block, the 8 and 12 block actually looks very similar on paper. Yeah. And it's just like, maybe we're pulling out volume in replacement for intensity over that time and giving less direct outcome-based movements, less and less energy over that time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and then the other part of the question was like, how do I know when that fake gains period is over? And it's like, well, wait till they hit a plateau. Yeah. And I think that people, as soon as someone hits and we're going to air quote the plateau, like a period where they don't progress in a linear fashion, most coaches, especially new ones, start to play with shit. Yeah. Yeah. You know, and it's like, that's probably not the time to do that. It's like, you probably got someone to a point where they're actually getting challenged now. Yeah. And it's like, just spend a little bit of time here, try and troubleshoot. Yeah. Lower hanging fruit, sleep, hydration, calories, maybe some peri-workout nutrition, like the shit that is going to matter that you should always kind of adhere to. And it's like, okay, get that on lock, spend another week, see what happens, and then start to troubleshoot and play around with stuff. I think that everyone thinks plateau's bad. And it's like, but how do you progress if you don't know where the upper limit is?
There's also super compensation too. Like if you're openly saying that those first 2-3 weeks are skill acquisition weeks, that's deloading. Yeah. So if you hit that week of plateau and you push another couple of weeks, maybe you're not actually making progress in terms of like weight on the bar every week, but the super compensation phase that comes with a pulling out some work or some intensity in the next 2 to 3 weeks of the next program. Yeah. That's where they're going to see the return for it. It's like people just forget that. It's like overreaching protocol. It's like, we don't really need to say that. It's like, just push. Push when it needs to push. I think the other consideration too is the psychological makeup of the client as well. Like I've got some clients that are like, once, and you would see it like week 4, 5 of the program with those those better athletes. It's like, I'm fucked. I don't want to show up this week. And it's like, if they're not going to show up, you're better off changing the program.
Yeah. So I've implemented week 5 that they're in about 70% of cases, there's a 50% drop in volume. Yeah. Yeah. And then it's like, then there's a 2-week push. Yeah. and then you get a new program. Because I don't like to change shit. Like, I'm being honest. Like, I just think that creatures of habit is a tremendous value in that. And, when we talk about proficiency, it's like, Steph Curry didn't get to where he is now, being the best shooter of all time by not showing up. It's like, I to get better at shooting, I'm gonna not shoot and do something else. It's like, no, he shoots all the time. It just probably regulates the amount of shooting he does. So I think I lean into that. I just think if you're gonna get really good at people who are good at their movements, generally get better results. So I think that rather than adopting a tremendously large amount of variety, lean into some variety, but keep the constants as much as you can.
I had a consult with Max last week for my own programming, and it had exactly that conversation. He's like, I want to focus on variety for your training at the moment, because it's really just maintenance at the moment. It's like variety, movement. So when we decide to pull the trigger on what we want to pull the trigger on, everything's working. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. Make my sessions varied, not my programming. It's like, I want to walk in the door of the gym and know what I'm doing and not even open my program, and then just like halfway through, like, I better put my weights in. Like, I like that repetition. That's probably why I did powerlifting for so long. It's just like the same shit every session, but don't get lost in variability and entertainment.
Like when I changed my program, I just put the same movements in different days of the week. In different rep ranges. Like, it's it. I don't really change movements very often.
There's a lot of trainers I know out there are like, but Gen Pop. It's like, you'd be surprised how effective that is for Gen Pop too, to just know what they have to do when they go in. It's like, I've got my most genest of popist clients in New English that are like that are like, I love an 8-week program. I can't wait to see what I can achieve on this 8-week block, because it's like they can see measurable, marketable changes in their physique in that time frame as well, like true body composition phases. And it's like, it's enough time to do a whole dieting phase and then maybe have a couple of weeks back and go again. Like, there's the way the client kind of sees things as the program does it, even though it's probably the nutrition and stuff as well, but it's like, during this program this happened. Whereas if it's a 3 to 4 week program, you don't have that measurable outcome.
I think the more advanced you get, you probably have a degree of variability that can be a little bit higher, but you'll probably find those people still have huge constants in their program. It's just that every 4 weeks that something changes.
I've gone back to like rep and reserve cycling a lot more. In the intensity movements. So it's like 3-2-1, 3-2-1. Whereas I went for a bit where I was like 3-3-2-2-1-1-0. And it was okay. And I think for the newer trainers, it was like, this week should be hard. So it worked. But those intermediates were like just fucked by the end of the program.
So I do that, but I do that same method still. But I put them for most people who are advanced or on the spectrum of intermediate advanced. They get a deload at week 5. So it's, again, it's just whatever periodization method you pick use, that is going to sit well with the clientele you have. Whether it's shorter time frames of training and then acute deloading, or you just have a mini deload in your mesocycle or whatever. It's up to you.
And then just knowing when to tell your client, like, I need the week. I need you to go this week versus, because you'll get, I'm tired, I don't like this, I'm sick of this. It's like knowing when to say, no, we're going versus when
even just
to
rationalizing it. It's like, your training sucks because it's hard. Look at all
Yeah.
your data. It was all green. Now it's starting to get orange and red. And it's like, you're at week 80 of your program.
Yeah.
It's like, just push this week. We'll up your calories. We'll drop your volume. You'll be okay.
Yeah.
And then next week, oh, I had a great week. It's like, yeah, we know.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
So hopefully we answered that question.
Yeah.
I think we've got probably time for one more, maybe.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I have time
Yeah.
for one more. I've got a dog that's locked inside that I need to get back to. All right. We'll go with this. Total sets per week is a focus for programming. Is total reps per muscle group and total weight lifted a focus for certain programs. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Don't know
So
what the question... It's a tough question.
I think what they're asking is, we talk about total sets per week a lot. So that's important.
Then breaking it down to the muscle group
Is
stuff.
total rep important?
Yeah.
And is total load important?
Yeah. Well, also added this as a segment in my physique programming unit.
I'll just sit back and relax.
Now, so I think if you look at it from a macro perspective, like how much work someone can do in a week in terms of sets is really important. We're all going to have a recovery capacity that that's going to be affected when we have a certain amount of training, in terms of sets. So we need to factor that in.
Yeah, and I think when we go into isolating reps, like volume, when we talk about it, is sets, because the proximity of failure brings it near enough in most cases that fatigue is kind of the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Or, I don't know, maybe depending on the rep range.
Yeah. Like we have in the strength one, we have a sliding scale of sets prescribed based on intensity.
Yeah. But I think that's more due to the complexity of the exercise than I would on we'll call them the fatigues that come from performing that bout, because from what I have learnt, there's about 8 different types of fatigues that happen when we train. And the more we do the movement, though there's these other elements that are potentially more fatiguing that start to accumulate with higher rep training. Yeah. But remember that a type of fatigue, or what causes a type of fatigue, is perception of effort. Yeah. And sometimes when you're doing really complex lifts that are really heavy, that can go through the roof, and then you're actually causing a degree of central nervous system fatigue that's not going to allow you to perform better. Yeah.
I think there's a soft tissue impact as well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Soft tissue takes longer to recover than
the recovery capacity. Yeah. So we've tried to neutralize that. Yeah. And go, well, if you're lifting heavy shit, and it makes sense, like even the stimulating reps are different. Yeah. So it's like I do 5 reps at let's say 3 rep in reserve. We'll just use that. Yeah. Every rep of that is stimulating to cause an increase in strength and an increase in hypertrophy if we create the right environment. If I do a 10 RM, and let's say I do 10 reps, and lift that at 2 reps in reserve, the theory would be, and you can feel it too. You can acknowledge it. We'll call it. But the first 3, the first 3-4 reps are just like
nothing.
Nothing really happens. It's like but it's like it's needed. It's like the intro to the big show at the end. Yeah. It's like the Broadway fucking show that the end of it is like the big shabam. Yeah. So those reps aren't stimulating, but the other reps are. Yeah. And I know people are going to go, why don't I just do 5 reps for everything? It's like, if you want to have joints, healthy tendons and stuff later on, you would want to lean into selecting rep ranges with exercise and stuff for different reasons. But to go back and answer the question, there's a total amount of work that someone can recover from, and then you want to split that work up into an appropriate dose per muscle group for a physique client, and then there's evidence that would show an amount that would be a good amount to maintain a muscle, to grow it at a minimally effective dose, and then you've got a maximum dose that you could push the volume for a particular muscle group, and then you've got a maximum recoverable dose that if you go beyond a point you won't recover from. So I think that after you create that budget for somebody, which is the total work that they do in a week, it's up to you and the client and their goals and their physique to distribute that accordingly based off a little bit of evidence, which is still going to be not conclusive, because hypertrophy and physique programming research is very, very new and very, very unclear. Yeah. But there's good indications that give you guys good starting points, and then you use the results as a way of making adjustments moving forward. Yeah. So I don't think that we can say, and then with the rep thing, I think that you're using the reps to create a stimulus. You know what I mean? Because it's like a rep is a reflection of the intensity you're imposing on the muscle, and that's challenging the system in a specific way. Yeah. So I think that that's what the reps serve in a lot of cases. Yeah. And then if they're asking about where the focus should be after that, it's making sure that person lifts more. Yeah. Whether it's through intensity, through intensification, and when they can't do it through intensification, find an accumulation method. Yeah. Which is good to do more work. And I tend to find that the more you train, intensification doesn't work because you're strong. Yeah. And your strength is not a linear thing, or it doesn't happen in this huge linear thing. It definitely has its peaks and troughs. Yeah. So there's going to be more instances when you're more trained where accumulation is going to serve you best. Yeah. But if you're new to training, intensification is probably better.
Yeah. I don't and I'm more than happy to be wrong, and I'm sure people do implement it and are successful with it. I don't see that much value in counting how many reps someone does per week, but definitely sets, and then sets allocated to different either movement patterns or muscle groups, I think is... Because when it's in the strength fundamentals thing, it's like, well, what does volume mean? It's like load times reps times distance. It's like distance for most movements really is pretty close. Like it's not that
it's hard
huge
to
a
quantify
variable. Load, like it's a proximity of failure thing that is really where shit's going to start to...
Load is accumulative as well.
Yeah.
So we have to use those two things. It's like...
Yeah. So if we're looking at like, well, if I'm managing sets and then my selection of sets per week, and this is where it starts, in my opinion, body composition training changes versus strength training. Like people will say like, powerlifting's the same as bodybuilding. It's like, no, it's fucking not. Like you have so many more variables to consider trying to get to a peak amount of strength in this area, but you have so many more variables of training a muscle for bodybuilding. It's like, it's not, if you're approaching them exactly the same, you're doing it wrong, in my opinion. So from a strength element, there needs to be more consideration to intensity and more consideration to the specific outcomes that occur at specific intensity zones.
Yep.
So what happens at 40 to 70%? Well, it's like hypertrophy. We can kind of do that. But when is it best to train inter and intramuscular coordination, disinhibition, like even inside intramuscular, it's like the synchronization, motor unit recruitment, and then frequency as well. That all happen at slightly different intensity ranges.
Yeah.
So it's like you need to have a spread through them all, and then you need to consider that doing a heavy triple based on all of those fatigue factors isn't the same as doing 3 sets of 10.
Yeah, of course.
Like it's not the same. So that consideration comes in, but I still don't think reps are the right way to track that, because every rep is going to be different, whereas each set is going to be closer together, particularly in body composition.
Yeah.
Like an 8 and a 12, fatigue induced, kind of the same.
Yeah. I think obviously quantifying the volume load is probably an easy way to do it.
Yeah, I think volume load is...
So the reps times the weight is a good progressive factor but you've got to zoom out a tiny bit.
Yeah, I like using it as a progression measure over a week and a program.
Yeah.
But not necessarily program to program.
Yeah.
Where I know a lot of people will do that. They'll try and want you to move X amount of load per week, per block or whatever.
Yep.
And like your recoverability, Jason, is to move 2 ton per week, for example.
Yeah, I just reread the question, and it's like, to answer it in short term, like the reps and the total weight, you can't put a number on that.
Yeah.
Per muscle group.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's just too many other factors that are influencing those decisions.
Yeah.
Where like showing up and allocating exposures to a movement or a muscle group, we have good control of that. Yeah. And there seems to be some, good frameworks that lay out the program in that way.
There's probably a rabbit hole that you can go down that you'll be able to find like what that is, like what's a good load per, whether it's total load per week, like volume load, or total and then you could start to distribute that as a percentage through muscle groups. But I think with the people that most of us work with, it's the percentage gain from that much effort would probably not be worth it, because like if someone has a bad night's sleep, it fucked your whole thing.
Yeah. I think if you were to consider rep ranges maybe in your programming, it would be more specific to, like for body composition, it'd be more specific to like maybe the type of stress you're trying to accumulate, and maybe even some movements that you do.
Yep.
Like single jointed movements, probably better doing them maybe above 8 reps. Yeah. Just anecdotally, thinking about performing the exercise and the realistic nature of not beating the fuck out of your joints and stuff.
Yeah.
Doing it any lower than that, like maybe 6, depending on the movement.
Yeah.
And then, I think that after that, it's not a thing that I would be looking at and going, I need this person to do this many reps per muscle group, or I need this muscle to do this much weight.
Yeah.
I don't think that I would look at it through that lens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good.
It was good. We went some places.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Just the boys that does that. It's
Yeah, it's good. We actually got to talk about training and programming.
Yeah.
And bodybuilding and
fun stuff.
Yeah, getting our haircut. It's cool. This
So
is
on
as
the
much fun for us as
on
hopefully it is for you.
the haircut thing, we've decided that we are going to become the Gary V. And Tam's going to become, what would we call him? T-Rock.
Yeah.
Who's upgraded from Krillin. So we're just going to like film way more stuff that we do.
Yeah.
So if you have any suggestions of what you would like to see us do outside of me getting a head massage at hopefully a very nice hairdresser's, and Jason getting his face massage, which will also be hilarious.
Which is, although it'll be solicited, so it'll be okay.
Let us know if there's anything else that would be cool to see us do. If you are in Canberra or Sydney, this episode will be out. We'll be there Friday in Canberra, Saturday in Sydney, in Penrith. Jump on the Instagram for the details of that workshop. We're going to be doing attract the clients you want. To be setting up your business model and marketing plans to attract people that you actually want to work with, rather than just training everybody, which is the step most PTs want to make at some point. And then obviously we'll be fitting in probably some training sessions and no doubt some food at some point as well. So if you're a follower, I would be keen to meet you guys anyway. So.
Yeah, definitely. Keen as fuck to get on the road.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it on the way here. I'm like, fuck, it's like a 7-hour drive and I don't care.
Yeah.
It's like I just want to be out somewhere and doing stuff.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.
See you next time.